Good morning. Look how beautiful our herb garden is looking. That's the word I found for huerto, so I hope that's the correct one. But if you saw yesterday's video, you remember this was like a little mini Jumanji. Here's our coriander, spinach, Swiss chard. He's now planting the lettuce that randomly grew outside of the herb garden. You got some beets growing over there. That's basil. Where are the tomatoes?
This one?
That's what's left.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have some rosemary on the other side, lemongrass. But yeah, look at the little baby lettuce. I'm starting my vlog a little later today because my husband and I had some priorities to take care of, some planning for the following weeks and getting everything settled. We finally did that. It's all good to go, so we're feeling a little less stressed. If you're feeling stressed with all the things you have to do as a grown-up, #adulting, remember to just sit down with your partner, whoever that may be, significant other, whatever. Hash things out, plan them out, just talk. Communication is key. Believe me, I do not believe that I have the perfect marriage, but it comes pretty close. In the 11 years that we've been together, 13 years that we've known each other, we've only ever had one big blowout that lasted less than half a day. Try to be a grown-up about your conversations too. Forget all the dramas that you watch on TV. Throwing things, yelling, and storming out, those are not the ways to discuss anything. I'm not saying that we had an argument right now. Really, we were just planning and strategizing for the following days, but we have so many things that are high-level stressors that we had to really say this is the best path to follow for this. So we talked about it, and my husband's shoulders went from this to this, and now he's outside working on another craft project, and I'm moving on with all the things I have to do. So long story short, takeaway from this, talk to your partner. It'll reduce a lot of stress for both of you. What I want to share with you right now as a chronically ill person, something that works as a visual aid of how I employ my time and when I'm sick versus when I'm feeling better. I did show you in a previous video, I think twice, that I have a paper agenda for 2020 that has those daily reflections, but I also have an Excel spreadsheet that helps me visualize everything color coded, and if I don't have my agenda on me, I have it on my computer, I have it on my phone. If you remember, my agenda has timestamps, so it's also a different way of looking at things. Let me show you now what I'm talking about. As you can see here, we're in the month of January. Grayed out are all the dates past. This is where we're at. And so you understand my color system. Pink is home business related stuff. Red are doctor's appointments or health things. Orange is volunteer. Yellow is tutoring. Purple is anything to do with the home. So in this case, it was maintenance who was coming over. And as you can tell, weeks that are practically empty means that I was not feeling well and I could not make any commitments. So my weeks were empty and I was just going day by day, seeing what I could do each day, whatever my body permitted. Here I had 2 doctor's appointments in one day. And then here I had an infusion. So here you can even tell. So I'm not feeling well. Here I go back to work, had my infusion, recovery day, back to work. And here I went to urgent care. So my tutoring sessions I had to cancel the same day. And then I went back to work on Saturday. So you can tell my weekends are at the end so I can have them all together. Then here I'm very hopeful. As you can see, here's volunteer stuff, tutoring, and here I have them all together. So I have volunteer stuff this week, tutoring sessions, 1 doctor's appointment, and I'm hoping that everything goes well and this doesn't have to happen. Then the following week, same, I have another doctor's appointment, volunteer stuff, and tutoring. And tutoring might double because I confirm the week prior if I'm going to the other kid's house. So you can tell more visually when I'm more active outside the house. Now, mind you that all this planning happens with my husband because, as I've mentioned before, we share one vehicle. So sometimes, even though he does have his e-bike to go to and from work, he might need the car for something that he has to haul around, or maybe that particular day he has to go from building to building. So sometimes I don't get the car, but sometimes if he's not very needed at work, they'll tell him that he can take me to my doctor's appointment, so that way I also don't feel so lonely if it's one that I know it's going to be a little emotional, which is great. Then other times, if I know that he needs the car when I'm scheduling my appointment, I tell the person anytime between this and that, I'm not going to have a car that day, so maybe another day if they don't have availability. That's mainly why when we plan our weeks and our days, we do them together. So we see, do you need the car? Do you need the car? So this week I have one day where I need the car. My appointment is very far away from where I live, so it's not like my tutoring sessions where I can just walk to them. And the same thing goes for my volunteer stuff. Some volunteer stuff I actually do from the home right here. Sometimes it's just sending out an email, sometimes it's making phone calls, but other days I actually have to go to another building in another place, and I really can't walk there. So that's how we've spent our morning so far, other than him fixing the herb garden and me uploading my video to YouTube at a different time to see, because I'm still exploring upload times and working with keywords and things like that. I've said many before that it is a learning process. So I'm still working on that. Anyway, I'm off to make some lunch. It's 12:30, and to keep going with the rest of the things of the day. Vamos afuera. Dale, vamos, vamos, vamos. My husband's working on a project for one of our volunteer things to put in the office. This is something that somebody was going to throw away, and he just kind of renewed it. You're so crafty. The yard looks so much better. Look at that. And the spice garden, or the herb garden, or whatever, is also looking a lot cleaner. And as you can see, the lettuce. We have like a little mini garden of lettuce. It's nearing the end of the day for us. Little one already ate. Big one already ate, and she's ready for bed. I didn't record the afternoon, one, because we were mostly just at the computers working on home business stuff, his army stuff, things that were just not interesting. And two, I actually wasn't feeling that great. I can show you on my watch that I had a bit of a dip of energy, and I also had a lot of reflux, which I haven't had in a really long time. But if you notice, I'm not coughing. So now that I feel the reflux, I'm not coughing. It's the bizarrest thing, and I'm gonna call tomorrow, see if I can move up my appointment with my GI. If I can't, then I just have to wait till my appointment near the end of the month, but we'll see. Anyway, let me show you my heart rate. As you can see here, there was a dip in energy. I was just fine the entire day, and then all of a sudden it just went whoop, and I had to go to the couch and lie down like, okay, time for a break. It just happens, and you accept it, and as I've always said, you move on. For the rest of the night, since it's fairly early, just not early enough to keep doing things that require a lot of time, my husband's gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna keep dealing with the house, prepare for tomorrow, and then just prepare anything else that needs preparing for the rest of the week. Then we're off to bed. I spoke too soon about the coughing because I was working on something here and I just coughed. Let's see if it was only a temporary thing. I wanted to show you, if you remember, if you saw, there you go. If you've seen my previous videos, you remember that I was on Advair for quite a few days, and it was giving me subtle but very annoying shakes. And then I was using albuterol, which since I was a kid, it always caused more obvious shakes. So the combination of the two just had me unable to write. And since I've been off Advair, they've been dying down. My heart rate has definitely reduced. It's still a little on the higher side, but it's actually calmed down to like the 70s. Anyway, I digress. I had shakes and I couldn't write. And there's a video of me trying to write a postcard or a birthday card for a kid. So I don't remember which one it was. I'll try to either link it, learn how to do that, or I'll link it below in the description if I fail to do the thing up here or whatever. But I wanted to show you how much better I am doing. This is why it was so upsetting for me that I couldn't write, because one of the things that I'm really good and it's back, that I'm really good at is handwriting, cursive. When I was in 4th grade, I believe there was a handwriting competition in my class, and I got first place. And as I grew up, I think I started in junior high or probably high school, I started practicing calligraphy. And well, let me just show you. Cover the name because I don't want you to see who the card is for. But I'm writing a birthday card. See, my handwriting, it's still a little off. You're not going to be able to see the details unless you zoom in, but I started out okay, and then my hands started cramping up, so I started doing letters kind of uneven, and my handwriting is usually perfectly straight, and this time I was kind of doing wavy things. And I noticed, because I do have a mixture of script and cursive in here, my script is a little more difficult for me than my cursive is, because with cursive everything just kind of flows. The pen just, you don't lift the pen, so I think it's just easier, whereas with scripts you have to do separate letters same size, and you have to start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. So I noticed that. But if you're into handwriting, this will be relevant and important to you too. If you're not, then just know it is important to me, and I was miserable that I couldn't do it. Plus, one of the kids I'm tutoring is also learning to either write cursive or write script more neatly. And I can't do that if I can't show him. So it was really frustrating, but fortunately now with the Flovent and no albuterol, things are coming back to normal. So exciting. I wanted to share with you another way that my husband and I do TV time in a way that is still productive, because sometimes it just feels like such a waste of time to sit in front of the TV and just do nothing. Or sometimes you sit in front of the TV and just scroll through your phone, kind of killing two birds with one stone, but still not doing something productive. Unless, of course, you're working from your phone, then it's something different. But here I am editing tomorrow's vlog, which is from today, and he is doing the finishing touches on the board that we're going to use for the office. So just wanted to share an idea, if this is something that you don't already do. This is something that we do that we find it's useful. I am done. Computer is off. Gabby is just checking his messages from work. Believe it or not, at this hour, it happens. The board is finished. The doggies are ready for bed too. And the TV is off. So it's just a matter of taking off the makeup for today and going to La La Land. He hates being on camera. Good night, everybody. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, comment below if you have any questions, suggestions for future videos, anything you're curious about that you've seen so far in my previous videos. Follow me on Instagram, and if I'm forgetting anything, you probably know more about YouTube than I do, so just go ahead and do that. Have a great night, you guys. Hope you had a wonderful long weekend. I'll see you tomorrow.